And everyone's Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Welcome. Thank you guys for watching. The Warriors defeated the Boston Celtics in a huge way last night. The final score was 107-88. They drew even in the finals against a very good Celtics team. This series is going all 7 games. I've been saying that. But from the Warriors last night, what you saw was a team with a different approach. It was a different game plan. It was a different strategy. It was a different mentality. You saw this from a Warriors team that changed things up. They made the adjustments necessary to take game 2 at home because they knew the importance of winning game 2. They knew that they needed to win this game before the series shift back to Boston, and they took care of business on their home floor. Now Boston goes back home with a chance to, avenge their loss, to redeem themselves, and we'll see what will happen. But Curry, it looks like he has finally come to life. Steph Curry is the purest shooter in the game. I know we talk about that all the time. We're currently trying to figure out where we rank his place in history. A lot of us have been talking about him. Curry finished the game with 29 points. He pretty much was feeling himself throughout much of the night. But again, the Warriors had a game plan that worked effectively. They were more disciplined. They made extra efforts to slow down the Boston Celtics. They made it difficult for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to knock down some shots. They made it very, very difficult for them for much of the night. So this was a game plan that they put to action, and it worked. For the Warriors, but Curry's gonna do his thing. Curry is the engine of that Warriors offense. Without him, you don't win this series. He is the foundation of that offense. His uncannily accurate shots, his ability to read the pick and roll and, create his own shot is amazing. I mean, that's what's cool about him. He has a cool demeanor about himself. He can take over basketball games. And the Boston Celtics really had no answer for him. They couldn't really figure him out. He was scoring in transition. He was getting offensive rebound, kick out threes. He was creating points on the pick and roll where he's so effective to me. And I think, the Warriors, knew how to counter Boston in a way. Draymond Green kind of set the tone early, as you saw. Draymond Green, being the agitator that he is, he provoked the Celtics. You saw he was able to get under the skin of some of those players like Jaylen Brown. Him and Jaylen Brown were going at it. You saw the physicality in last night's game. Marcus Smart had a few words for him. I mean, it was more. They was more aggressive last night, more physical in game 2. Something we really didn't see. And then the third quarter, it belonged to the Warriors. The Celtics were pretty much done by the time the third quarter came. It was all Warriors in the third quarter. But the Boston Celtics are going to have to tilt their schemes to account for a guy as good as Steph Curry. He was just aggressive. You're going to have to be aggressive in closeouts. And you're going to have to get greater pressure on the pick and roll. And extend, you got to extend, try to extend the play and make them burn more time on the shot clock if you can, but I mean, we talk about this all the time with Steph Curry. It's his powers, his offensive powers, and he's just an amazing player. He's effective off switches. with dribble penetration and high ball movement. That's where he's also effective, you know. And then Gary Payton, the second, was back yesterday, and he was used as a defensive Swiss Army knife. You know, he took shifts on Tatum and Brown and White. He's switchable, as we saw. You know, he unlocks various lineup combinations, which is very, very good for this Warriors team. So the Warriors, they got playmakers, man. And the key for them moving forward is they're going to have to get more production out of Jordan Poole. And we saw him come on late in yesterday's game. He started knocking down shots. He got involved offensively. I felt like he kind of set the tone for them a bit in the third quarter with his offensive ability to score. But to beat the Celtics, you must turn them over, and that's something that we saw yesterday. The Celtics continue to struggle taking care of the basketball. That's been a weakness. That's been a glaring weakness for them. They have to take better care of the basketball. You know, and I mean, that's something we haven't really seen from them. But, you know, Curry reads it. You know, he reads things on the opposite fly and jumps into the passing lanes and made a difference defensively. Draymond Green was all over people last night. Didn't really give them much room to make something happen. You know, we saw that with him as well. You know, but, you know, Tatum's going to try to do his thing too, but it was tough for him. It was tough because, again, the Warriors did what they had to do to take game 2 at home. And here's another thing with Boston. Here's the big problem with Boston last night. Boston's role players didn't really show up. You didn't get much from Al Horford. Al Horford didn't even attempt a 3 after making 6 in game 1. You know, he was really nowhere to be found. Marcus Smart missed all 3 of his threes. And then Derek White needed 13 shots for his 12 points. So it wasn't a great effort collectively from the Boston Celtics. And that was the difference in the game. The Warriors turned, you know, the faucet off on the others, you know, and that's what you saw yesterday in game 2. The Warriors outscored the Celtics 35-14 in the third quarter. That was the difference right there. That was the momentum swing right there. That was a huge third quarter that changed the complexion of the game, gave the game a different identity, gave the game a new look, a new personality, and you saw that in the third quarter. So again, Steph Curry was huge. He continues to do what he does best, and he's just a pure marksman. You know, I would like to see his backcourt mate step it up some, and that is Klay Thompson. Hopefully he can get going in game 3, and if he does, man, this series might be over before 7. I still think the Warriors pull it out in 7, but if Klay Thompson gets going and Draymond Green continues to be a defensive force that he's been, and you get quality shots out of Jordan Poole, this series might be over quicker than you can say 7. But I'll see you guys later. You guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful Monday. Take care.